Hey everybody, how are you all doing? I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to make a video today because I've just had a lot of thoughts on a particular subject, and it's because it's something that I am personally going through and working on, and I've kind of developed my own little method just from information and knowledge that I have. And I wanted to share it with you guys. I hope that it can help somebody in being able to move past something. So I recently have been, it's been a couple months now that I've been actually working on this, but I feel stuck. I feel like I should be doing more. Like I should be in a different place in my life. And I know that everybody gets there at some point. Everybody hits that wall at some point. And it's really frustrating. But it's a lot different when you are in an awakening process, or if you are someone who is already very consciously aware of emotions and your body and how you react to things like this. And I'm still very much at a beginning stage. I feel like I'm kind of an infant when it comes to learning this kind of stuff. But I feel like it's really good to share. I feel like it's really good to be able to put it out there so that anybody who might need it can know that they're not alone. And so my, I guess, method, you could say, that I've kind of developed, it's got 3 stages to it. And with the whole, I feel stuck, I should be somewhere else, I should be further along, I should be doing something else. I want to go ahead and first of all, let this be a reminder to you guys to, no matter where you're at, how you're feeling, what kind of anxiety, stress, depression, whatever it is that you have going on, I want this to be a reminder to be where you are, because residing in the past doesn't help you now, and worrying about the future doesn't help you now. So learning to be in the present moment and be here now is super powerful in this whole process. And it's not just within this process, within life. Being where you're at and actually being there is really powerful. We are human beings. We are not human wasings or human going toings. That just sounds super goofy. And we are at the point we're at for a reason. When I was younger, I completely 100%, I believed in coincidence. Like, oh, that's so crazy. Oh my gosh. Now that I'm older and I've gone through some of this process of becoming more consciously aware, I'm like, yeah, no, there's no way that that's a coincidence. Like, my energy, my actions, my thoughts somehow put this out into the universe, and this is what the universe is giving me back. This is the feedback from the universe. This is the breadcrumb trail from the universe. And so what I've learned is that the universe, God, spirit, source, Krishna, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't make mistakes. So whenever we're in a position like this where we feel like we're stuck, we're there for a reason. We are meant to learn something. We are meant to get past something. We are meant to develop something more and better within ourselves so that we can progress onto the next stage of ourselves. And when we come into the present moment in situations where we feel like we're stuck or we should be further along, whatever it happens to be, the present moment is about learning how to reconnect with your body. We live in a society where we have become so completely disconnected because we are distracted by 10 million other things that we have going on that we've been told we need to focus on, we need to pay attention to. This is important, when it's really not. People that are going through conscious awareness, becoming consciously aware, I guess not going through conscious awareness, but becoming consciously aware, they begin to understand that all of the junk that we have been given throughout life is really just that. It's just garbage that we have been fed from society, from our parents, our siblings, friends, social media, entertainment, celebrities, all of it. And it doesn't actually matter when it comes to our present moment. What we're doing in this present moment, we're trying to figure out what we're feeling, because that feeling is what we need to work through. That feeling is our path to freedom. It is our gateway to the next evolution of ourselves. And so this process that I have, I mentioned 3 steps. So we've got acknowledge, accept, and act, which seem like 3 really simple steps, which they actually are once you practice it a couple times, if you decide that this is something that you want to practice. But it ends up going quite deep as well. With the first one, the acknowledge, what you're doing is you are getting into the present moment with your body. You are feeling whatever emotion you have that is going on when you're thinking about, oh, I should be here. Oh, I should be doing this. Oh, I should have this relationship, or I should have this house, or this going on in my life, whatever it happens to be. A lot of times it's fear-based. Most of the time, I would say it is fear-based in some way, shape, or form. It can be insecurity, guilt, shame. There's a multitude of different emotions that come from fear. But behind that emotion, we have something to learn about ourselves, about our belief systems, and why we need to let go of what was previously put into our belief system when we were younger. So what I like to do in this acknowledgement part is that when I have a moment where my brain is racing and I'm like, gosh, I feel like such a failure. I should be at this stage of my life and I'm not there yet. What is going on with me? Why am I not? I will sit down and take a couple deep breaths. I usually do an inhale for about a 4 count and then exhale for about a 6 count. I always do the exhale a little bit longer, and it helps me reset. It helps me come into my body, out of my brain, which is off worrying about future stuff when I need to be focusing on now, and I really try to feel into my body the emotion that I have going on. So if you're on this path, if you haven't already, you're either learning or going to learn that an emotion is energy in motion. We are all energy. Everything is energy and frequency. And so when we have got an emotion that is stuck somewhere inside of us, what needs to happen is we need to feel it. It's kind of an interesting process, and as you begin to practice more, it becomes more normal and easier to be able to feel what you're feeling. So sitting down, taking a couple deep breaths. I usually close my eyes, sitting somewhere comfortable, quiet, so I don't have a distraction. And I'm just focusing on where that feeling is at. It's usually a tighter spot in the body for me. And I have to go ahead and I have to ask myself, like, what is this feeling? Where does it come from? What am I meant to learn from it? And once I figure out that portion of it, if it is fear of loss, if it's fear of embarrassment, if it's fear of not being loved, if it is fear of not being successful, all of these things, once I can pinpoint that aspect, then I can really go ahead and, first of all, celebrate that, because progress is progress, no matter how small it is. Once you're able to go ahead and drop into your body and feel something and be like, okay, I know what that feeling is. It's so powerful, because you can begin to do this at any time. You can do it when you feel anxiety about something. And you can learn somatic practices that help you to be able to drop into your body and out of your mind and calm yourself and regulate your nervous system. It goes, it's expansive. It's very expansive. But for this, we'll stick with that. Once you learn how to do this, celebrate it, because progress is progress, and that's fantastic. You're making strides, more than probably 7 billion people on this planet, since we're up to 8 now. I would actually be surprised if there was 1 billion people that can actually do that kind of stuff. And it's not good, bad, or indifferent. It's just that we're so distracted. So being able to get your focus into your body it's almost like being able to do a magic trick nowadays. So it's really cool. So once you have this acknowledgement of what you're feeling, the next part is to accept what you're feeling, because no matter what it is, in this moment, it is real and it is yours, without putting some sort of negative connotation to it. It's not something that we should be suppressing or be embarrassed of, or we shouldn't be angry about it. That's my thing. I get angry about stuff. But we just need to, without judgment, be able to accept what is ours. And being able to do something like that is really hard for a lot of people, because we want to be able to place blame. We want to be able to say, well, it's this person's fault and it's this event that did this to me. And all of these events that have happened in our lives, that's what's led me to where I am now. And that's why I am the way that I am. And it is that person, place, thing, event's fault. And that doesn't really matter. It honestly does not. The fact is that you are still holding on to it in some way. And to be able to just accept that and sit with it, sitting with it is important, because once you can learn to sit with your demons, your shadows, your dark side, you can also begin to love them, because these things aren't in our lives for no reason. It's not just like, oh God, oh that's in my life because of this person and it sucks and I hate it and blah 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 blah. No, 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 no. It is in your life for a reason. You are meant to learn something from this feeling, from the event, person, place, thing that happened. There is something that you are meant to learn from it, and it's valuable. It is so, so valuable. It's like having a treasure within you to be able to move you to the next step. Accepting this part of you is something that is going to be, what you'll see is it is creating the block that you have. It is creating this resistance to moving forward, to taking the new job, to moving, to getting out of the relationship, to pursuing what you are passionate about. Once you're able to go ahead and identify and accept what it is that you have going on, then you get to do the work. You get to take action for that so that you can move beyond it. And in this part, you're going to dig deep. Now, you don't have to know the event that caused this fear. You don't have to have the exact memory that caused this fear. And a lot of times it's not just big T traumas that go ahead and cause these fears. Okay? I want you to understand that it is not always going to be things like being beat, being raped, being bullied to extremes at school. It's not always going to be things like that. A lot of times we end up having things from our childhood that create some sort of fear. And when we look back at it, we're like, oh yeah, no, that's just how it was when I was a kid. For example, I specifically have a memory. My parents split up when I was 3 or 4. And I have a very specific memory of being in the house with my mom. I was probably about 4. And I wanted my dad. He wasn't there anymore. And we had a big old 3-story house. The main floor where the living room was, we had a wall that had pretty much all windows. And then this wall here had a short section of windows, so you could see a good portion of the way around our house. Well, we had a couch in front of these windows. I was on that couch and I was facing the windows and I was screaming that I wanted my dad. In this time, I know now that my mom had to have been stressed to the max. She was probably in the midst of losing her shit and not know how she's going to carry on, and just trying to figure things out as a single mom, as a human being that is just like, okay, I've got 3 kids. What am I going to do? How am I supposed to do this? But me being on the back of the couch, screaming out the window that I want my dad, was a tipping point, and she smacked the shit out of me. No joke. Like, I remember her taking me to the bathroom because she smacked me so hard that her nails actually scratched or damaged my face somehow. And up until recently, I honestly never thought about the consequences of what that did to me on a psychological level. What that developed within me as far as a belief, a fear, a part of my egoic mind that completely shaped all kinds of stuff. And so having this realization recently, I'm like, holy shit. I never even considered that that was like a trauma. I didn't barely remember. I literally don't remember the pain from it. And that's one thing that is amazing about somatic practices when you are doing this action part of the work, because it doesn't matter if your brain remembers it, because your body does. And when you find a modality that you can utilize for this part of your practice, your development, it's going to be a game changer for you. There's so much stuff that's out there nowadays. There is tons and tons of methods that are made by different people for being able to go ahead and get you past things like this, these blockades that you create in your life. And yes, you create them. It doesn't matter if it doesn't seem like it, if you've got all these other things in play, you created it. So you need to learn to own it. And that's when you acknowledge it, when you accept it, and then when you can take the actions to move those emotions through you, then you can begin to live, like really live. And it's so powerful. It's so strong. That is why I want to share this with anybody and everybody, because it's helped me. I'm pretty sure it can help you. If not you, maybe somebody you know. So the modalities part on this, when you come to, okay, I know what I feel. I've acknowledged it. I've accepted it. Now it's time to do some work. It is of vital importance that no matter what you end up doing, you have some sort of somatic practice that is part of it. It doesn't matter if it is just breath work, which is one of my favorites, or if it is, some people do ecstatic dance. It doesn't matter what it is that you choose for your somatic practice, as long as it works for you. I said earlier that your body remembers. And so as you're going through this, when you have a somatic practice, even if your brain doesn't remember the very event that caused this trauma, this fear, this block, your body's going to remember. And when you activate it, you are going to feel those emotions. You may have the memory come up. It may come back to you. Very possible. But when the energy starts moving through your body, when it's done moving through your body, when you are through the practice, you're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel better. You're going to be able to move on through to the next thing. And there's always going to be a next thing. Okay, it's the way that our brains are wired. So the egoic mind is more about keeping you safe in comfort than it is about being like, okay, I'm completely out of my comfort zone, but I'm safe. It's okay here. No. Your brain is always going to be like, no, this old stuff here, that's where we're comfortable. That's where we need to stay. Most of the time when we're having an issue like this, it's because even if it is rooted in a deep fear of loss, being unlovable, being unworthy, all the things, your body is still more used to that than it is stepping out of its comfort zone and learning that it is safe in that new area, that it is safe within these new feelings and beliefs. So it's not a process that you're like, oh, I did breath work once, I'm all better. Not a thing for anyone, ever. You end up going through these stages, and I've had a couple of them so far where like I'm doing breath work really heavy and I'm moving through a lot of stuff, and then you have to go through an integration phase where you change habits, you change patterns, you change the way your brain thinks of and sees things. And so finding a somatic practice is key when it comes to the action part. You can probably just have a somatic practice. I have a couple different things that go into my action practice. So I go ahead and I have a meditation practice. I do breath work. I've also done shadow work in the past, which is a lot of journaling, sitting with myself, things like that, going inward and actually having conversations with the younger me, that little girl that is always still inside, and being able to find out what it was that they missed, that they didn't get as a kid. And so I encompass a couple different things. Eventually, I would like to be able to build this into like a full class, a full system where I can be like, look, this is a direct step that you can go ahead and you can take in order to be able to do the entire action portion of this. But I'm just giving you guys kind of an overall for right now. It's going to require doing your own work and finding out what modalities you like. What is it that works for you? And it's not going to be the same for everyone. That's what's so beautiful about there being so many different people out there nowadays that have their own methods and systems, because you can find all of them online. And yeah, some of them, if you want a mentor, you're going to have to pay for it. Some of them, if you want to go ahead and you want to join a workshop, you're obviously going to have to pay for it. You just have to figure out if it is worth it for you. That's the number one thing. If it's worth it, do it. I also recommend learning about some basic psychology stuff. This is something that I've always found really fascinating, and so it's easy for me to find books and pick them up and just gather information. I also watch a ton of different YouTube channels, and I do audiobooks. I listen to all kinds of stuff, people, the whole shebang. I feel like the more knowledge and information I can have, I can be better equipped, not just for me, but for you guys. I can go ahead and I can give you information and examples in different ways, and it's not going to resonate with everybody, but if it resonates with someone, I'm happy about that. So that's one of those things that is part of what I'm doing. I think that being able to understand how the mind and body work is absolutely fascinating. And the more information you have on it, some people's brains, like mine, it makes things make sense. And it allows me to be able to go, okay, this will work for me then, but this over here won't. So go ahead and sit down and take some time and find out different methods and what they entail and what it's going to take for you to be able to implement that in your life. because there's usually different stages to it. So you have like your initial doing breath work, doing meditation, stuff like that. But going back to the egoic mind is always going to tell you that you're safe in old patterns, old beliefs, etc. You have to go ahead and you have to be on top of continuing to tell yourself, like, no, I am safe within myself. So stepping into this uncomfortable spot is fine. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be safe. This is something that I need to do. A lot of people battle with negative self-thought. I am absolutely one of those people. I have had such a hard time being able to go from like I'm never going to find my dharma. I'm never going to be able to figure out what I'm here for, what I'm supposed to be doing. And it was so frustrating, like literally to the point that I would get angry and it would just spiral. It would just get worse. But I found that the journaling, the shadow work, and even just like brain dumping, just going ahead and getting my journal out, even if I don't have a specific subject to journal about, just if I have a bunch of stuff going on in my head, just writing it out. I have done 3, 4, 5 pages at a time, and I go back and I look at it and I'm like, damn, girl, like, what did you have going on? Really? Did you really have that going on? No, it was in your head. All of it was in your head. Those are interesting. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much where I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop this. Just let me know in the comments if you've got any questions. If I don't know, I'll try and find out. I want to be able to be of assistance in some way, shape, or form. And I think that my fascination with the mind and the mind-body connection, and then also the mind-body-spirit connection, is the path that I am looking to step into. And so that's why I'm doing this. It's been on my mind, and everything was telling me just go ahead and make a video about it. So here I am. Let me know if you've got any questions. Let me know if you want to explore something, if you want to find out about something in psychology or somatic work, or if you want recommendations for different mentors that I've found and stuff like that. I haven't, just so full transparency, I haven't taken on a mentor myself. It is something I am looking at doing. And so I've read into many different ones. So thank you guys so much for being here with me, for listening to me rant and go on and on about all of this. It's been a joy. I'm glad that I finally got it out of my system. So thank you for that. Thank you for being here and being present.